Why hello, and welcome to Adventures in Veggietown. Today's story is Frog Wars by Cindy Kennedy and Doug Peterson, illustrated by Michael Moore. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. Psalm 31, verse 24. Junior Asparagus had been trying to learn to play the tuba all day, but the noise coming out of it sounded like a sick water buffalo with a pail on its head. Black, 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 echoed through the house. 15 minutes later, Junior slammed the tuba on the floor.
I quit. Junior, you love music, and this is the fourth instrument you've tried this month.
She said.
Yeah, but I'm not good at all.
He puffed.
Perhaps it's because you're using the advanced guide to playing tubas on your first day. Even if God made you musically gifted, it takes perseverance before you can play well. Perseverance? God never gave them to me. Perseverance means keep trying. Don't give up hope. Hope?
He muttered.
Nope. Don't got it.
Later that afternoon, Junior wandered into the Treasure Trove bookstore.
Do you have any books on how to play the violin?
He asked Mr. O'Malley, the Irish potato who owned the store. Mr. O'Malley peered at Junior.
I thought you were learning to play the tuba, laddie. Apparently, tubas and I weren't made for each other.
Mr. O'Malley's eyes lit up.
I have the perfect book for you.
O'Malley climbed a tall ladder to find the book.
It's somewhere in the Never Say Die section, next to the self-help comic books.
Finally, he found it. Frog Wars. Junior opened the book and saw a palace in the middle of the desert. Workers lifted giant statues that looked like huge stone frogs. At that very moment, 4 giant words floated up from the first page of the book. 4 simple words. Once upon a time. The 4 giant words swirled around Junior. Whoosh! Junior slid down, down, down. But as he slid down the giant page, the words moved up. They said, a long time ago, in a land far, far away. Episode 4. A really, really do hope. Dark Visor and his evil empire are forcing the people of Ceylon to be his slaves. He is making them build temples to the great frog god, Ribbit. But the one true god is rising up a hero to rescue them. After sliding down the words, Junior crash-landed inside the Frog Wars book.
Where did you come from?
Asked a cucumber slave, hopping up to Junior.
He fell from outer space,
said a blueberry.
Hello, space boy. I am Princess Hairspraya, and this is Cuke Sandwalker.
Junior stared at the cucumber's wig. Then he looked at Princess Hairspraya with a baffled look on his face.
You have cinnamon buns on your ears. Of course. Where would you suggest I carry them?
She frowned.
I don't have hands, you know. Don't worry, we won't hurt you. We were captured from Ceylon, which is on the other side of the big frog pond. We were brought here to be Dark Visor's slaves,
explained the cucumber. Just then, 2 other slaves peeked out from behind the frog statue.
Is it safe to come out, Master Cuke?
Asked a pea dressed in gold.
Come on out,
Cuke Sandwalker called. The 2 peas cautiously approached a little asparagus.
I am Sweet Pea Cereal,
said one of the peas.
This is Achoo-Bless-U. We're slaves too. Are you the one who's come to free our people?
asked Princess Hairspraya.
I don't think so,
said Junior, a little confused.
We've been asking the one true God to send someone who will lead us out of here. You must be the one,
said Cuke Sandwalker.
Follow us, Space Boy.
Junior stayed close behind as Cuke and his friends rushed through the palace into the throne room. The King Zucchini, named Dark Visor, sat on a great frog's throne. His visor made his breathing sound funny.
He hates this all night,
whispered Achoo-Bless-U.
What's with the frogs?
Junior asked.
Dark Visor believes in a frog god called Ribbit.
Princess Hairspraya told him.
He doesn't believe the true God will send someone to help us. So, go ahead and tell him.
Nudged Cuke.
Tell him what? Tell him to let God's people go free.
Trembling with fear, Junior moved towards the king. What do you want? Dark Visor bellowed after lifting his visor.
To let the people of Salon go free?
Junior squeaked. No! Thundered the king so loudly, it caused his visor to slam shut.
Okay, I gave it a shot.
Junior shrugged and turned to leave.
Wait!
Said Cuke Sandwalker.
You hardly tried at all. Trying isn't my thing.
Junior added as he ran for the door. At that very moment, a guy named Mo stormed into the room, carrying a walking stick. The big round tomato was on a mission.
Stick with me,
Mo told Junior.
We don't give up until Dark Visor gives in.
Mo turned to the king and spoke.
My name is Mo, and God wants you to let his people go.
But Dark Visor only snarled at him with a heavy breath.
Huh?
Everyone gasped.
lift your visor and try it again.
Suggested Sweet Peace Rio. The king flung back his head and opened his visor. When I'm through with you, you will all turn to the dark side. Ha ha ha! Dark Visor would not let the slaves go free. But did Mo give up? Nope. He had hope and would not give up because he put his faith in the Lord. Mo warned Dark Visor that God would not be pleased, but the big zucchini didn't care, so Mo threatened to turn all the water in the kingdom to juice. And soon, purple liquid bubbled out of every drinking fountain in the city.
This guy's really good.
Cuke Sandwalker whispered to Junior. Day after day, Mo threatened the king with God's anger, but the king refused to let the people go. Junior just wanted to quit and go home, but Mo encouraged him to stay.
God wants us to have faith in him. That means doing our best and not giving up,
he told Junior. Then Mo shouted,
My name is Mo, and God wants you to let his people go.
No way, Jose! Dark Visor replied as he sipped his juice. So Tomato warned the king that God would send plagues onto the land, and the plagues were scary things like days and days of doing the hokey pokey, swarms of dust bunnies, a drought of pizza and ice cream, and the invasion of frogs. Even though the king worshipped the frog Ribbit, unwanted, real frogs turned up everywhere. The king found them in his cereal bowl, in his pajamas, even in his throne, but Dark Visor would not let God's people go free. Many days later.
Isn't it time to give up?
asked Cuke Sandwalker.
What do you think, Junior?
Mo asked. Junior thought about it. God really wants us to put our hope in him and keep trying.
Anything else we could try?
Junior asked. Mo smiled, and they prayed to God for help. Then God sent a deep darkness to fall upon the land.
Is this what you meant when you talked about turning to the dark side?
Achoo-Bless-U teased the king. Finally, an amazing thing happened. Dark Visor heard a familiar voice.
My name is Mo, and God wants you to let his people go!
I can't see anything in the dark, he groaned as he flipped his visor up, just as he was about to sit on a frog. Ribbit has turned against me in my time of need. All right, let the slaves go free, and take these frogs with you, shouted the king. The clouds began to part, and the slaves marched out of the land. Junior rode on a wagon with his friends, except there was no room for Cuke Sandwalker.
Use this horse, Cuke,
said the princess.
Good thinking,
smiled the cucumber. Before the slaves could get away, Dark Visor slammed down the lid of his visor and sent his army to chase the slaves.
Huh?
He flipped the visor back open and shouted, I changed my mind! Go after the slaves of Ceylon! The Empire struck back. The slaves were trapped in the front of the big frog pond, with no way to cross. In front, the slaves saw the treacherous pond muck. The king's army was quickly approaching them. The people from Ceylon were afraid. Junior was scared too, but did he give up? Nope, he had hope. He saw how God continued to watch over the people again and again. He knew they had to trust God in a mighty way.
Don't give up!
Junior shouted. Then Mo called out,
You will see how the Lord will save you!
Suddenly, the lily pads of the pond came together and turned to stone, while the waters parted to each side. God created a pathway so the slaves could get to the other side. But Dark Visor's army was right behind them. Did Junior and Mo give up? Nope, they had hope. As the sun began to rise, the slaves arrived on the other side of the pond, and the lily pads returned to normal. The pond filled with water and muck. The soldiers sank into tons of mud and water and clambered to the shore. It's not easy being mean, said the king, pulling himself out of the muck. Ribbit, said a frog behind him. With the army defeated, the slaves cheered on the opposite shore. And then it happened. 2 words suddenly popped out of the sand, along with several frogs. The 2 simple words, the end.
Thanks for not giving up, Junior,
said Mo.
Thanks for teaching me to never give up,
replied Junior.
Goodbye, Space Boy,
called Princess Hairspraya.
Be strong and never lose hope,
added Cuke Skywalker.
May the Lord be with you.
The 2 giant words swirled around Junior like a desert whirlwind. The next thing Junior knew, he was back in the Treasure Trove bookstore, shaking sand from his hat. In the store, Mr. O'Malley shuffled out from the back room when he heard the bell from above the door jingle. Junior told Mr. O'Malley about the adventure, Dark Visor, the frogs, Mo.
Hey, what did you learn?
Asked Mr. O'Malley.
That God wants us to have hope in him,
and that we shouldn't give up even when things are difficult.
He said.
By the way, do you have a beginner's guide to playing tubas?
I sure do, laddie.
Mr. O'Malley chuckled.
Let it be my gift to you.
Thanks.
Junior beamed as he hopped out of the store. Then Mr. O'Malley said to himself,
No hope you have. Happy that makes me. Want to read the real story about having hope in the Lord? Read the story of Moses in Exodus, chapters 1 through 15 in the Bible. You'll be glad you did.